This is your first ever BMW X7 full-size SUV. Before we go into Quirks, Perks, and Irks, a couple of numbers for you. This is the 40i with the inline 6 as opposed to the 50i with the V8. 16 feet, 9 inches long, 6 feet, 5 inches wide, 5 feet, 9 inches tall. There's a lot of vehicle happening here. All right, let's go Quirks, Perks, and Irks. Get your jokes out of the way about the kidney grill and being massive and oversized and like 10 radiators and all the funny memes you've seen. I don't mind it. I think it suits the vehicle, big grill, you know, may as well. So being a BMW, it's got LEDs all over the place. Turn signal is its own separate bulb right there. As a comparison, the other side, not on, that's where it would go. Again, LED lights, LED fog lights. Let's take one more look at the front end. And there it is. Some nice subtle contours on the hood. Nice touch there. This has the upgraded M package, so you get the nice blue calipers, 22-inch massive BMW rims. Look good to me. I have no problems with it. Looks nice and sharp. Turn signals in the side mirrors. Let's back up and back up and back up a little more. There is your full vehicle in frame. I'm like twice as far away from the cars that I usually shoot. So definitely a massive presence on the road. Let's take a look at the rear because, well, it's a 3-row and there's a lot of stuff to get through. All right, so that's the rear view. That's your turn signal. That's the nice chrome bar across the top. You get twin tailpipes. Very nice, very symmetrical. You can push your key fob to open the trunk. You can push a button underneath there to open the trunk, or you can do what I do. Little kick of your foot, up with the top, down with the bottom, and that's how you open it up. So lots to get through, so let's get through it. This folds in half for like really thin things, but if you're like, I don't really have a use for this right now, literally just pull it out. No tabs, no buttons, nice and easy. Second thing, underfloor storage, very nice. Put some things there like a, oh, where's my tripod? Anyway, like a tripod and some other stuff. Here is your privacy shade that pulls and retracts. It's kind of stuck, but all you do is pull that little panel out, lift it out, and install it. And there are one of the pegs right, where's my finger? Right there. So you're gonna have to have these seats down if you want to use the privacy cover because it just won't pull forward because seats are in the way. Speaking of seats being in the way, let's get these 2 seats down. Push that button. It's a bit of a slower process because it's all mechanical. Headrest goes down and the seat goes down. Oops, gotta keep hanging on to that. Come on, we're on camera. There you go. So yeah, like I said, a little slow, but still gets the job done. And we're gonna do the passenger side. So slowly the headrest will collapse and the seat will go down. And as soon as that's done, I'm gonna keep my finger on the button. Let's back up, and there's a whole lot more space for you. Climate controls for the 3rd row people are up top. It's very cool, and they have not quite an official sunroof because it doesn't move, like it's unzoomed, but the shade goes back and forth, so you can kind of control it that way. So very nicely done there. I think I'm gonna have to do a couple of quick edits and cuts here because I want to go around to the front, but I want to put the seats up. Anyways, with the power of editing, I'll be back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back looking at the 2nd and 3rd rows, 2019 X7. So just before we look at the 3rd row and the 2nd row, there's a pretty healthy amount of foot space here. And it's not bad here. Again, for a 3-row SUV, when 99% of 3-row SUVs have minuscule space for the rear passengers, BMW's done a pretty good job here. So I'm going to take that, push it up. My seat will go forward. And as that happens, this seat will go forward as soon as that goes forward. Again, fully motorized, so it's a little slower than conventional wheels, and the seat will go up as well. You can see that. Beauty of that, because the seat's up, you have a lot more space to be able to kind of get in, get yourself settled, get yourself comfortable. So again, these 2 seats, full-size adult seats. This is the 6-seater. You can opt out of the 2 captain's chairs, grab a bench. I would take the 6-seater just to keep my passengers a little extra happy and a little extra comfortable. There's a better look at the sunroof, and we'll get to the controls of that right now. So you push one of these buttons on the no, that's not true. One of these buttons, sorry. These ones control the sunshade, so we'll do that. Up it goes. down it goes, and the one on the passenger side controls that. Interestingly, the right side passenger can do the same thing for their own and the person to the left, so that's pretty cool. So pushing the button, just beneath that closes it up, and that's how we open it up as well. So not bad, lots of space back here. Let's take a look at the second row. So I'm going to pull that up, pull that back, and slowly but surely it's going to lower down as it moves back. Let's take a quick look at that as it happens now. I guess it's kind of boring because it's just a power seat. But anyways, if you've ever flown first class, these are the best things. I think they're in some premium economy seats. Anyway, so the front two passengers and the middle two passengers have a little more head comfort than people at the rear, but you know what? Whatever. They have plenty of space back there. So let's take a look in here. Armrests that not only go up and down, but you go forwards and backwards. So lots of comfort here. I'm going to put that down and out of the way. Same thing with that, just up and then down and out of the way. There are your climate controls for the rear passengers. And yes, their seats are heated. A couple of cup holders and a little bit of storage that kind of just falls down so that you don't really have a high chance of losing stuff. You got your USB ports, you got a 12 volt there as well. You got some space, and another USB port there. Inside of the doors, really nice. Again, the rear doors are longer than the front doors for ease of use as far as getting in and out. I'm going to slide down here, and that's just kind of how you get your seats going forwards and backwards, and that's how you do the tilt. So if you're on a longer road trip and you just want to relax, push her back and you're all set. Surprisingly big side bolsters for the middle seats. Not great thigh bolsters, but it's the side bolsters. And the front seats have a little more, actually a lot more, but the rear seats are comfortable. I had the band in here. We did a gig in Pickering, so Mississauga to Pickering, absolute comfort, no complaints. Everyone was nice and quiet, and they enjoyed the ride. So that's going to wrap up the third row of seats. That's going to wrap up the second row of seats, and we'll be right back taking a look at the front two seats. And there's a little bit of a snippet for you as to what to expect. Be right back. Let's take a look up front. 2019 X7, very comfortable for your left arm if you are the driver, very comfortable for your right arm if you are the passenger. I generally dislike wood paneling at all, but because this has the natural imperfections, I'll give it a passing grade. Very nice there. There's a little more on the inside. There's your massaged seats. As far as the Premium Excellence package goes, a bunch more options, but we'll get into that a little later on. And a couple of memory positions as well if you feel like sharing your X7 with somebody. It's just a really nice and simple looking panel. So let's just jump on in and give you guys a look at what the front of the X7 looks like. So I'm going to start here. This is how you move your second row seats. I guess the middle seats, not the second row, the first row behind the driver, forwards and backwards. So I'm going to push the backward button and let you take a look as we pan around. So it's not a whole lot, but it's enough to make getting in and out of the middle row a lot easier. There's nothing really new here. You've seen this on the X5, you've seen this on the M850i, you've seen this on the Z4. So they're clearly going with this new design language, and they're sticking with it. Some people dislike that the tack goes counterclockwise, and they just feel everything should go clockwise. I get it, it's changed. It's not really the easiest thing, but I have no problem with it. I think it's fine. Sorry, the camera was a little tilted there. My apologies. Nice, thick, and beefy steering wheel. Again, typical BMW, and all of your light controls are tucked in right there. You can have a map showing up in the middle. I don't like it. I just don't want to have any distractions in my, on my dashboard. So that's why I just opted to have it blank and black, and that works for me. So did the steering wheel, did the dashboard, 12.3 inches there, 12.3 inches there. These are massive numbers, but you know, a lot of information that you need to get pulled. So, you know, I'm happy with it. A couple of people I've talked to have said they don't like how small the numbers are. And, you know, I get that right off the bat. But right now the needle's at 0, and the 0 is white, and it's hard to see on the camera. But 20, 40, 60, all the way up to 260 is gray. You got a better look at that? Yeah, there's a better look at it. Oh, interestingly, they missed 80. 20, 40, 60, missing 80, 100, missing 120. Anyways, as the needle rises, the numbers get bigger and go from gray to white, so it's easier to see. So, you know, I don't really get it myself, but anyways, there are your paddle shifters up and down. Let's start here. 12.3 inch screen. Again, not too much new here. New vehicle, yes. New technology, no. It's relatively new, but again, so easy to pull all of your information out of here. Climate controls, pretty easy for me. Nice little digital screen in the middle to tell you where the air is going, how hot the air is, and yeah, just nice and easy. No complaints for me on that side. No CD player because, well, it's 2019, but you still have some memory settings there, and you can move your tracks. And they did the crystal thing here as well. So there's your volume knob, and I think you guys saw this in the X5 that I had a few months ago. Crystal there, and then there's this beautiful, gorgeous crystal shifter as well. Again, not much new. The one thing I do like is the wood paneling, surprisingly, because here's actually a good example of it. It looks like it's flawed, but it's just natural imperfections. And take a listen. You can actually feel the grooves in there, so it's not fully laminated. It doesn't look too shiny. Wireless charging, standard, of course. Here's a cool thing. Heated and cooled cup holders. Blue for cold, red for hot. So, covered year-round. Good job, BMW. My drummer, who I did the little road trip with to Pickering, kept his drink nice and cold the entire time. Let's close that up. Get the ambient lighting, so it's all over the place here and there, and we'll get to what's in the sunroof a little later on. So this is cool. It's not new, but just, you know, I like it because it's fun. You touch whatever you want to change on the seat, and it highlights. So right now I'm looking at bringing in the side bolsters. They're going in, they're going out, and again with the seats, you go up, you're down, and your thigh extender goes in and out, and it's cool. It's a really nice thing, so it takes a lot of the guesswork out, and it does the same thing for the front passengers. So if you get shotgun, you get all the cool and fun bells and whistles. I don't know if anybody cares, but you don't get a sunglass holder, and I don't know, it doesn't bother me because my sunglasses are always on me, or I've got a case and I will put them in here. And speaking of in here, heated armrests for your inside arms. You know what I mean. Right arm for the driver, left arm for the passenger. Pretty cool there, and you got a little bit of storage tucked in there as well. Just open it up, and there's that, there's that, there's that. Seats are super comfortable because you can adjust the side bolsters, very nice, and adjust the thigh extenders and the thigh bolsters. Not too bad, pretty not that bad. I'm gonna leave it at that. That's gonna wrap the inside up. Let's get this thing on the road. Let's throw in a couple of little side things before that, like the air suspension, and maybe we'll throw something else in there. But for now, let's do a couple of B-roll thingies, and we'll be, let's just keep the review going. And who knows what might come next. Cool party trick for BMW's X7. Push the little parking button, and you get your forward view, and you get your 360 view. And you're like, well, Jay, that's okay, I guess. Almost every luxury car has that. Well, you're right. Hit the little car on the left, hit 3D view, and you have that. And you're like, well, that could be anything from any view. Well, you can see there's grass beside me on the right side, and you can see there's road beside me on the left side. So I'm going to touch the right side of the screen. I'm going to touch the passenger side. There's the grass. There's somebody walking. I don't know if we can get them or not. Anyways, I'm going to touch the driver's side, and it goes up. And there's the road that I was just showing you a few seconds ago. And you get different touch points as well as far as where the camera points. So you can see really not only what's around you from top down, but as if you're outside of the car. I think it's a really cool and fun feature for BMW. All right, that's that. Let's do the drive. 2019 X7. This is the 40i. So it's got a 3-liter inline-six, 8-speed transmission, 335 horse, 330 pound-feet of torque. There is the 50i with the V8, and the horsepower is in the 400s, and so is the torque. It's just an absolute monster. But let's stick to the 40i because that's what we have. There are so many safety features in this vehicle. As far as standard stuff goes, you get your blind spot warning, your lane departure warning, your rear collision warning, your front collision warning, your rear cross traffic alert, you get your 360 camera. There's just a ton of stuff, and then you get to the option sheet and you tick off a few more things, and you get the backup assist, which is a really cool safety feature. Safety, that sounded funny. It's a cool safety feature. Let's keep it like that. And that's part of a different package. And there's so much happening with BMW, and I think it's their most technologically advanced vehicle. Let's run a couple of numbers right now. So if you want a 6-seater, it's going to cost you $750 for BMW to take out the bench and drop in 2 captain's chairs. For me, entirely worth it for the middle row of passengers to have 2 instead of 3, because I would happily sacrifice 1 person to make sure the 2 people I do have in the middle are as comfortable as they possibly can be. There is a massively huge upgraded speaker system available that gets you 20 speakers and 1500 watts, and that is just unbelievable power. Like, that's almost rock concert like. That's gonna do it for the number side. As far as driving impressions, what it's like on the road, it's very comfortable and it is extremely smooth. And even with the inline 6, there is a lot of power here. And I had 4 guys, or 3 guys including myself, all of our guitars and gear, and we were on the highway going from here to Pickering, and there were no hesitation moments at all for myself, for the vehicle, for the engine, transmission. Just I pointed the nose, put my foot down, and the car went, and it went very, very smoothly. And you know, that's what you want out of a luxury vehicle. You don't want to have it just be all show and no go. So the X7 absolutely delivers tremendously on that side of things. Traffic jam assist also is part of a paid option, and I'll put the list of options that this vehicle has come with in the description aspect of this video. I gotta say, it's easier to park than I thought, and I tried parking a couple times. I don't want to say blind, but all I used were my mirrors. I didn't use the 3D camera, I didn't use the 360 camera, I didn't use the backup camera, I didn't use any cameras. So I treated it like a car from the 80s, where I had my middle mirror and my 2 side mirrors. And for a car that's this big, 16 feet and 9 inches long to be specific, it's easier to park than I thought. And if I can park it, I think almost anybody can park the vehicle. Seats are so comfortable, and just the driving position is really, really nice. It's nice and high up, but it's not super, super high up where you feel like you're towering on top of everybody. What it is, it's just, you know, it's a good happy medium as far as the balance goes between having a good high stance and not an overly high stance. Optional heads-up display on this vehicle as well. Sure, it's cool, it's nice, it's a nice party trick, just I don't really have much of an interest in it. I understand it keeps your eyes closer to the road than looking up, looking down, looking up, looking down. But just the 12.3 inch dashboard that's here, that's all digital. Again, it's easy for me to get all the information out of it. I don't find it cumbersome. I don't find it hard to pull information from either. Touchscreen is great. The Hey BMW is pretty cool too. I lost my train of thought. That hardly happens. And you know what? We're going to keep it in there because, well, because it's my video and that's what I want to do. Wow, I lost my train of thought again. No, anyway, sorry. I think we went over the seats, we went over the steering feel, the driving feel, cornering. It's a tall, long vehicle. Don't take your corners too hard, too fast, too tight. You're not going to roll over, but you'll still get that kind of weird feeling of tippy-esqueness, but that's not X7 specific related. That's any tall, long SUV, for full-size SUV related. But having said that, it does take turns very well for a vehicle of its size. Really, really hugs the road, really eats up all those bumps and imperfections on the road as well. Air suspension definitely has a bit to do with that. And before you're watching this part, if you watch any other part of the video, maybe a few minutes back, you saw me raise and lower the suspension of the vehicle. You can do that from the rear tailgate at the bottom part that comes out, and there's also a button here just behind the iDrive system that brings it down as well. So, you know, if you don't need to go to the back of the vehicle because you don't want to do it, you can do it from the comfort of the driver's seat. iDrive, so good, so easy to use. I pretty much hardly ever touch the screen. I use the rotary controller for everything. I think just when I was showing the guys in the band just how much the vehicle can do, you know, I did some touchscreen stuff, I did some iDrive rotary controller stuff, just to kind of get the point across that it's a multifaceted vehicle. It's not touchscreen only. Fit and finish is great. Middle seats are comfortable, according to the guys. The rear seats are actually surprisingly comfortable. Kind of a strange thing because most full-size SUVs have the rear passengers the lowest on their priority list. They just have seats because they want to call themselves a 3-row crossover or full-size SUV, whatever it is you want to call it. But BMW has done a tremendous job in making sure all of the occupants in the vehicle are comfortable, and I guess as comfortable as they can be. I think it's going to wrap the video up. We've covered the outside, we've covered the inside, the front row, the middle row, the back row. What else have we gone through? We've gone through the iDrive 7, and we've gone through the entertainment and the comfort and the seats. Yep, I think we're good with everything. If you have any questions on the 2019 first ever BMW X7, let me know. I will do my best to answer them as soon as possible. If you have any questions on maybe some upcoming BMW products or on previous reviews that I've done on BMW offerings, please let me know in the comments. I will do my best to answer them as well. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you like what I do. If you want to be notified of when next videos come up, as soon as they come out, hit the notification bell. And again, thanks for watching. We'll be back sooner than later with our next review.